So, gentlemen, in this video, we are going to break down the Delta-4 theory by Kunal Shah, which is basically a theory which will help you in building your startup, or if you're an entrepreneur, it will help you in building any kind of products. So, basically, मुझे तो पता है ये पहले से theory. I've been trying to apply it in the products that I'm trying to build. But one of my friends told me that you have a YouTube channel and you should break down this interesting theory from your own entrepreneur's lens, basically from an entrepreneur's perspective. And since I talk about these kind of things, entrepreneurship and personal growth and startups in my channel, then why not? So it's a good kind of video also to make, like it's a reaction kind of or breakdown kind of video. So let's break down the Delta-4 theory by Kunal Shah, who is the currently founder of Cred company, very successful investor, very successful founder. Previously also he has built multiple startups, a well-known figure in startup industry in India. So let's get started and let's watch the video.
Humans are constantly seeking efficiency in everything, right? How do I have better presentation slides? How do I have LED screens? How do I have better cameras? How do I have a better way of consuming content? Can I learn faster? Can I memorize things faster? So humans are constantly seeking efficiency in everything, Like for example, how do I date more efficiently is resulting in dating apps. How do I get in touch with people remotely, conference centers and so on and so forth, right? So every time there is a hurdle, there is wealth behind that. And it's very easy to understand. Let's say if I asked you, imagine, let's say I invent a pill which basically removed these spectacles for me and give me a better vision overnight by consuming this pill, I'll become an overnight billionaire. Right? Because
very basic thing is telling कि अगर कोई भी problem है, if there is a big problem or crisis and if you solve it, you will become rich or your company itself will become very valuable, right? बहुत basic चीज़ है, but you need to understand the deeper meaning behind it, जो आगे की वीडियो में I think will explain. So let's keep watching.
What happens is that I have removed an inefficiency from a human life, and by removing that, I have removed a hurdle, and therefore I will unlock wealth. Now this is a simple principle to understand, but it's harder to apply. So let's just talk about how do you apply this to any new idea, and by applying efficiency scoring on top of that. So let's just do a quick example over here. Let's talk about old taxis and new forms of taxis. And if I have to ask you, give me a score for the first state, that is the old state and old taxis, and new state, that is the new taxis. Give me a score, let's say out of 10. Anybody wants to tell me a score out of 10 for old behavior and for new behavior out of 10? Anybody wants to go ahead and answer this question for me? Yeah, go ahead. 3 and 9. Okay. Anybody else wants to answer this? 5 and 8 for you. Okay. 3 and 8. 6 and 8.
I'd probably give a, मुझे याद नहीं काफ़ी टाइम पहले वीडियो देखी थी, but I would give like the older one 2, knowing that what is possible now. And the straight B, I would say still it's like 7, something like that, or 2 to 8.
Anybody else? 2 and 7. If I had to take this room's average, I would probably land somewhere over here, right? And there is something interesting about this. Every time the delta between the two behaviors is greater than equal to 4, right? It basically creates wealth.
Yeah. So this is basically the crisp of whole theory, which is like the Delta-4 theory. But so I'll just take, yeah. So state B जो था, basically उसका scoring 8 है, which is the new, like the improved thing, the improved solution. And state A का था 2 scoring. The efficiency of state A was 2. So 8 minus 2 is 6, right? तो 6 points you have increased the efficiency of the solution. तो अगर any problem you solve, just try to see कि वो पहले जो उस problem का solution था उसका क्या score था on a efficiency scale, and अभी जो solution you are building या the product you are building उसका कितना score होगा. अगर उन दोनों का जो difference है, उन दोनों का जो delta है, अगर 4 से ऊपर आता है, then it's a very high probability कि आपका product work करेगा and you will create wealth. So that is a Delta-4 theory, but let's understand more.
And I'll tell you why it creates wealth. What it does, it creates 3 things. It creates an irreversible behavior. Anybody who has experienced a Delta-4 product or service will not go back to the old behavior. It is irreversible. I will talk about UBP in 1 second, but high tolerance. Just because Ola's maps are not working, you will not say, screw this, I'm going to now go back to Meru or something like that. You will probably keep trying for some more time before you move there, right? And UBP and USP is an interesting one. It is unique brag-worthy proposition, right? Every time humans discover something that is Delta-4, they can't stop bragging about it, right? There are easier examples to understand that. How many of you know about Truecaller over here?
Yeah.
Truecaller? Okay, how many of you downloaded Truecaller because you saw an ad? Nobody. I'll tell you how it was discovered by you long ago. Somebody came to you and told you, give me any phone number. I'll tell you the name of the person. It almost was shown as a magic trick, right?
So I think you guys remember कि when we were starting, मतलब जब Jio revolution के बाद इंडिया में when we started to use a lot of these online apps, especially Truecaller उस time पे it was popping up. So he used to say वही कि number बता, I'll tell you the name, right? That is what he is talking about. And now you cannot go back to the phone directory. Now you cannot go back from using Truecaller. So that is one Delta-4 product. And अभी जैसे Swiggy Zomato है, so now you don't want to call restaurants कि ये order है and deliver कर दो हमारे घर पे. You'll just search that restaurant in the Swiggy or Zomato and you'll order it. That is a Delta-4 product. Paytm payments है. All these are Delta-4 products. You can take ample of examples from Indian ecosystem or foreign ecosystem. You'll get ample of these kind of products. But to understand more, I'll tell you one more thing. I have a very big problem with the generalization of theories, advices, and all these, जो भी ऑनलाइन गुरुज एंड ऑनलाइन ऑल दीज बुक्स वी रीड, जो इसमें जनरलाइजेशन ऑफ थ्योरीज एंड कॉन्सेप्ट्स हो जाता है, दैट इज प्रीटी मच हार्मफुल. इनफैक्ट व्हाट आई एम डूइंग इन दिस वीडियो इज नॉट करेक्ट. द रीजन इज दैट every theory or every formula of success does not apply to everyone in the same way. At least in the same way, it doesn't apply to everyone. So you need to have some of your own understandings of the problem from a basic core, and not कि आपके पास ये चीज़ है, आपके पास ये problem to solve है. Now there is someone who is giving you an advice or a theory or a trick or a hack to use it. Now exactly आप उसको apply करके solve करना करोगे तो नहीं होगा. 99% केसेस में नहीं होगा. You need to understand the problem from its very core, and you have to start building on it yourself. Understand every single path कि उसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें very very detail में you have to understand that thing, and then you need to solve it. So जैसे Delta-4 theory, it doesn't matter कि आप बिना Delta-4 theory के बना ही नहीं सकते स्टार्टअप, या बिना इस चीज़ को अप्लाई करें, या फिर कोई और थ्योरी किसी ने बता दी, कोई अंकुर वाले, आई डोंट वांट टू टेक द नेम ऑल्सो, इतने सारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं जो बहुत बकवास भी कर रहे हैं इनफैक्ट. तो इससे ज्ञान तो कमी हो तो बेटर है आपके पास. दैट्स व्हाई दे से कि जितना नाइव हो आप, इट्स द मोर बेटर फॉर यू टू स्टार्ट, राइट? बिकॉज इफ़ यू नो अ लॉट यू वोंट डू एनीथिंग. यू विल नो कि यहाँ ये गड़बड़ होगी तो वो करोगे नहीं आप. तो दैट्स वन थिंग. सो जस्ट वांट टू से ऑफ टॉपिक कि don't think कि everything that you learn online you have to apply it and then you'll be successful, because आजकल बहुत कुछ online है and not everything is worth it. So yeah, let's continue.
When humans discovered Delta-4, they tell everybody about it. In fact, they get social currency by sharing that, right? And therefore, when we discover something cool that is Delta-4, which makes entire human race efficiency go up, we keep talking about it, right? And these companies, therefore, require least amount of fuel to spread. And I'll come to what I mean by that. Let's take
Audience is kind of dumb, right? वो इतनी insightful बात बोल रहा है बट कोई रिएक्शन नहीं. मतलब कोई कॉमेडी शो होता है भी तो ओ करने लग जाता है, राइट? या दे शुड
take another example. Buying shirts offline and buying shirts online. I'm specifically going to talk to males right now over here. Give me a score out of 10 for doing both these behaviors. Anybody wants to go? 8 and 2. 8 and 2. Anybody else wants to talk about anything? 5. If I have to take an average, it will probably appear like this. The reason it is like that is, even though it is digital, it is not more efficient.
Yeah, so everything which is, obviously, I'll just add my point here कि डजेंट मैटर कि आप हर चीज़ को डिजिटल करोगे या फिर इफ़ यू जस्ट मेक इट मोर फैंसी इट विल वर्क. सम थिंग्स आर गुड एट देयर बेसिक कोर इट सेल्फ. लाइक जो कपड़े खरीदने का एग्जाम्पल है, आप कपड़े तो फिजिकली लोगे. इनफैक्ट आई ट्राइड इट इन वन ऑफ माई स्टार्टअप्स कि कपड़े लोगों को ऑनलाइन बेच रहा हूँ इन वर्चुअल रियलिटी. डजेंट वर्क. किसी चीज़ को फैंसी कर दोगे, बट इफ एट इट्स कोर लेवल, अगर इफ इट्स फंडामेंटली द राइट, if it's fundamentally right currently, then there is no point in changing it. Something else you can change it. Like रोटी कपड़ा मकान, ये तीनों चीज़ें तो रहने वाली है एटलीस्ट अगले 50 years तक भी रहने वाली है, unless there is a big, very big change by AI or something like that or some other disruptive technology. But so जो basic चीज़ है, you need to keep in mind कि there is no need to make them fancy. Won't work. Delta negative में रहेगा उसका. There is no much difference. But some things which are very inefficient right now, or maybe which are not accessible to many of the people in our country or globally, you can just provide them the access, right? Yeah.
And therefore, it will do the exact opposite to a Delta-4 company. It will be reversible. One bad experience in buying shirt online, never going back online. So no tolerance and no UBP. You will not keep talking about this. The reason I'm saying these things is that these are the exact companies that require tons and tons of ads or discounts or cashbacks to artificially increase their delta to make it appear stronger. Let me give you another example, which is slightly more complicated. Imagine ordering food online on an app like Swiggy or Zomato, or calling the restaurant and ordering food. For a lot of us over here in this room, it will be Delta-4. But you move to a distant cousin or our parents or anybody who is not so tech savvy, it is not Delta-4 for them, because most likely they're using two restaurants and calling them, and they already know the guys that they order same food from, and it's not Delta-4 for them. So you will see that they will get the first 1 million customers quickly and then fail to grow after that, because they have not been able to make it Delta-4 for the rest of the people, right? Why am I talking about Delta-4? Delta-4 comes from a core principle of biology, where every time a species has a breakout and one version.
So one more thing Kunal Shah does is, which in fact I am also very keen, and most of the very intellectual entrepreneurs, I would say, or very high operating entrepreneurs do, is that they apply a lot of psychology, a lot of biology also, in fact the neuroscience and all, into building products, which is obviously like, it's a common thing, right? If you even see the algorithms of YouTube or Instagram itself, काफ़ी सारे, like literally a team of neuroscientists, team of psychologists, all these people sit there and think कि क्या चेंज कर सकते हैं कोड में, या क्या चेंज कर सकते हैं हम कि इट विल हिट द पर्सन बायोलॉजिकली, न्यूरोलॉजिकली और साइकोलॉजिकली इन अ वे कि वो हमारा प्रोडक्ट खरीदेगा या एंगेजमेंट बढ़ेगा. So he is going to talk about one of those things. So if you're building some product, right, which is like based on an algorithm or based on some kind of category where you need to make them take on your platform for the long term, all those things you need to, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, I'm telling you कि अगर आपको भी बनना है तो you need to study psychology, neuropsychology and all these kind of things also, along with building the technicalities of your product, because ये चीज़ें are eventually which will help you capture the human mind, because you have to sell it to a human only, right? अभी आसपास कौन है आपके कस्टमर्स, आपके इन्वेस्टर, जो भी सब ह्यूमंस है. सो वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड बेसिक साइकोलॉजी, यू विल बी एबल टू केटर दोस ऑडियंस, राइट? सो लेट्स सी. एंड ये इसने नो यूबीपी की अभी तक बात नहीं करी है, विच इज़ बेसिकली द यूनिक ब्रैग वर्दी प्रोपोजिशन. आपका कोई भी प्रोडक्ट है, इफ यू हैव डाउनलोडेड इट, राइट, and then you share it with your friend. For example, there is a dating app, I don't know what's the name, which is, just comment down below if you know the name of that dating app, which is just for celebrities or influencers, where खाली celebrities या influencers ही आपस में date करते हैं. Like that's a dating app, I am not remembering the name. तो for example, if you get into that app somehow, खाली referral से उसमें आपका account बनता है, तो यू विल ब्रैग अबाउट दैट प्रोडक्ट टू ऑल योर फ्रेंड्स, जो भी हाई सोसाइटी के, हाई क्लास के फ्रेंड्स हैं, यू विल जस्ट ब्रैग इट टू देम, राइट? सो दैट इज़ वन प्रोडक्ट विच इज़ ब्रैग वर्दी. तो अगर इस टाइप का प्रोडक्ट बनाओगे तो देयर इज़ नो नीड फॉर मार्केटिंग, इजीली मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली आपका प्रोडक्ट सर्कुलेट होगा. बट कीपिंग डिमांड, like demand is high but you're keeping the supply low intentionally, right? And then creating a hype around it. Supply low होने के बाद भी if you create the hype, like it will definitely increase your sales. So all these tricks you need to understand. So let's hear from it.
Out and one version of that species becomes, let's say, uh, multiple times more efficient than the previous species, they wipe out the previous species, right? It has happened with, say, lizards in Galapagos Island, where one lizard become much more efficient at consuming resources. The other species were completely wiped out in the same family, right? And this is true for companies, true for services, true for anything, right? But if you don't understand this principle, you will end up spending a lot of money building this. So let's go further. Basically what happens is that if the company is not increasing delta, it will do that, and if the company has lower delta, it will actually destroy wealth. And therefore, almost
I can't help but notice like Kunal Shah is getting very fat in this, is looking very fat in this video. Although purane video, now he's also focused on his health. So just want to mention that, in fact, if you're an entrepreneur building anything, or building a startup or whatever it is, make sure to focus on your fitness also. I've been also doing that since I was 16, matlab going to the gym, working out, all those things. So while working on your startup and business, don't forget your health. And it's not just about ki andar se aap healthy ho, but about the looks also. From outside personality, outside, if people see you in a good shape, they find you more competent towards your work, and that unlocks more opportunities for you. You'll get more investors, you'll get a lot of good feedback from employees, and a lot of good things happen to you when you're in a good shape. You walk into the room and you're like, I command this. So for that, you should not be fat. And although people like him also build a lot of good things, but I'm just saying it's an advantage. It's an unfair advantage if you use it, and it does not take a lot of time, just 1 hour of your day. I think this video is almost ended. I think it's just
health is moving in the spectrum of efficiency.
Yeah, so I think that was the video. Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. And I think in the future I'll be making more such content on where I'll be exploring more theories around entrepreneurship, and we'll be discussing more ideas and the hacks of entrepreneurship and building startups. And it's not just there is no such thing as hacks and stuff, right? It's just pure hustle, but intellect is there. You need to do smart work along with hard work. स्मार्ट वर्क को इतना ज़्यादा करो कि लाइक जितना हार्ड वर्क लोग करते हैं उतने अगर आप स्मार्ट वर्क करोगे उतने ही अमाउंट में, तो एक्सपोनेंशियल रिटर्न मिलेंगे आपको. In future, I am planning to build a lot of products which I will be building in front of you with Life of Shazil. You will be seeing a lot of daily vlogs in future, like building startups and all those stuff. So definitely follow me. And there's a recent series I started which is 30 Days of 30 Entrepreneurship Tips. It's a short series. It's quite funny. You should watch it here. I'll put the I button to the playlist for that series. Definitely watch it. And also comment down below on what topics I should make more reaction or more breakdown videos. Like some podcasts should have breakdowns, some Shark Tank episodes or something like that, right? So which will help you guys build a life that's worth living, as I'm doing in my entrepreneurship journey with Life of Shazil. Make sure to subscribe, and bye for now.